Hello Gemini, and welcome to your 2022 predictions. So this reading is kind of in a way meant to be an extension, a specific extension for your zodiac sign connected to the 2022 video that I did on the numerology of the year 2022 and kind of what to expect numerologically there. And so of course we're diving into your specific zodiac energy for 2022 to see what's coming for you overall in general, and then specifically in money and in love in all its ways, shapes, and forms. So before we get into our reading, I would love to invite you to join the Kindred family here by subscribing to my YouTube channel. Click like on this video and drop a comment down below if something resonates with you. If you're interested in your own personal reading, you can connect with me on Etsy. I also curate all kinds of other content on Etsy, including worksheets to help find your gifts and talents in life, almost personal readings on specific topics, book of shadow sheets, and other content. So check out my Etsy shop if you are so moved to do that. Okay, so we're going to start with your general information first. So let's shuffle out a card for Gemini 2022 predictions for Gemini 2022 predictions overall in general. What should Gemini be expecting? The taming power of the great. So self-discipline and concentration, realizing your potential, self-awareness. So it just feels like you're doing a lot of digging, inward work here. Some of your divine masculine, outwardly expressive energy might be, I don't want to say suppressed, but tempered a bit by that need or desire to go inward and seek out and go on a spiritual sojourn. We have the number 26 here, reducing down to the number 8. So it could also be a very productive year for you as well, especially if you're the type of Gemini who maybe has difficulty like concentrating on one specific thing. That is going to be your challenge for 2022, is that self-discipline, that concentration, and of course self-awareness. So we have this beautiful blue feather with our bluebird. You are being gifted with blessings of happiness and peace. So that might be a very strong and positive message for you. Again, especially if your mind is very busy, which if it's not, I don't know what kind of Gemini you are. Geminis have that very, very, very active mind space. So peace, happiness, concentration, self-awareness, self-discipline is going to be a kind of a focus for you in 2022. All right, split the deck. Justice. Might have some Libra in your chart. The World. High Priestess. Okay. Again, feeling like for you, 2022 is going to be a year of, again, that balance and harmony. I'm feeling like within you, I'm feeling like that balance and harmony is happening within you. You are finding happiness and peace. Those are all inner energies. Through this idea or concept of self-discipline and concentration, it could also include creating routines around spirituality and how you practice your spirituality with the High Priestess here. And I feel like also maybe leaning in and connecting more with your spirituality. You could have some Pisces in your birth chart, some Libra in your birth chart, as well. Capricorn, Taurus keeps coming to mind, coming to heart. Yeah, so that's kind of your overall focus. I feel like the world is saying 2022 could also be a year of completion for you. And again, I'm feeling it's more spiritual. You have all major arcanas, so that suggests that 2022 is going to be a major year for you. Big changes, big things happening, specifically in that inner world, that inner space. And I feel like that is going to it's going to come outward. There's going to be an outward manifestation of the inner work that you have done, the fruits of your labor, if you will, reaping the rewards for the hard work and effort that you're putting into your inner space. It's going to eventually come out, but 2022 might seem like a very kind of a laid back year on the outside, but on the inside, cultivating this serene, calm, peaceful energy where your inner world is balanced and you are living in your truth and very deeply connected with the ebbs and flows of your inner world, trusting your intuition, strengthening your discernment, those sorts of things. Money-wise, let's see. Ooh, jade. So jade is a crystal that is connected with money and manifesting money. But it's also suggesting that you're being the bigger person here. I feel like this inner work that you're doing is going to allow you to be the bigger person. Also to note that the number 2 energy is being highlighted in 2022. So the number 2 talks about balance and cooperation and union and working with others. And we see the Libra card here in justice. So this idea of being the bigger person could come somewhere in your relationships. If you're in a partnership, I'm getting the message like financially being the bigger person, whatever that actually means. I'm not really sure. Some of you could be weighing the scales of your connections next year and or weighing the scales of your money opportunities as well. Like, is what you're putting in what you're getting out? And it might not be a 1-for-1 apples for apples, but are you getting the same, or are you getting a fair measure of apples for the oranges that you've put in, if that makes any sense at all? Yes, I'm using fruit. I don't know. I hope it made sense, though. Ace of Pentacles, new opportunities. Page of Wands, exploring your passions. And for some of you, what I'm seeing here is you starting a new opportunity. Something that's in alignment with your passions, that is going to make an offer of financial pursuit here. So you could be leaving a job. The world, again, talking about completion. You could be coming to peace with leaving an opportunity or a job and being introduced to a new opportunity to make your passions where your money also is. I said that weird, but I hope it made sense. Earth, fire. Yeah, and I feel like you're going to be really putting in work and putting in effort into whatever this dream is. And it could be something that you already know about. If something popped into your mind, then it's probably that, whatever popped into your mind. But something that you're passionate about that you can monetize is what I'm seeing money-wise for you in 2022. That rhymed. Interesting. So we have I love you. These are powerful words. They are. It's the number 20 here, reducing down again to the number 2. So the number 2, we have the High Priestess here as the 2. I love you is a 20, reducing down to the number 2. And then, of course, 2022 has a lot of 2s in it. So the number 2 is going to be playing a big role in next year for you specifically. The pages are 11s, by the way, which also reduced down to the number 2. They're a number 2 card as well. So we have the 3 of Arrows, moving on from some difficult situation. 10 of Coins. So from a love perspective and a love point of view, again, we have the I love you here. So this could be suggesting somebody that you're currently in a relationship with or a connection with, or you're meeting somebody in 2022 that you fall in love with, that you have a powerful connection to, powerful connection with them. It's a partnership, that 2 energy. The 3 arrows suggest difficulty there. So it might be a breakup. If you're actively in a relationship, that could suggest a breakup, potentially in 2022 of that love ship. Or it could just talk about difficulties or challenges that you have to navigate within your love ship. But we also have the 10 of Coins there. So that suggests long-term stability, shared resources, and just large amounts of resources in the future space. I feel like the I love you, if the relationship thing's not vibing with you, I feel like the I love you could also be talking about you loving you. So we talked about you balancing your energies out, your inner spaces out with your outer spaces, getting in alignment, your mind and your heart, and then the world around you then shaping to that reality that you are cultivating there. And that might require you to start something new, to change your job. Maybe you're moving, but you're exploring your passions, and your passions are offering opportunities for you to make money, or to have financial and financial opportunities there. And I also feel like this love could be, because we said love in all its ways, shapes, and forms, self-love. And the 3 of Arrows would then be potentially talking about you moving through difficult energy, heartbreak energy. Maybe this energy doesn't have anything to do with like a romantic situation, but maybe it's, root work, something that happens in your childhood, shadow work, something that happens in your past, a situation where you didn't trust your intuition or whatever, right? There's a lot of things that one could be working through and moving through that thing that you stuffed down, or you tried to go around or go under or go over. That thing right there is hasn't gone away. And the only way to overcome is to go through it, to feel it, to release it through tears and anger and whatever manifests there as release, feeling those feelings and then releasing that, to again lead to this place of stability and having abundance of resources and stability. That's what I'm kind of feeling. So it feels like you're really going through a sojourn here, Gemini, in 2022. You're releasing old baggage. You're developing new routines that puts your spirituality first, that puts your spirit world and your spiritual health first. And then that will end up kind of morphing and manifesting your physical world through money and love and resources and all of these other aspects of life. All right, so we are going to cast some charms for you, but first we're going to spin our wheel here to see where our focus is going to be. Ooh, 2022 Gemini's focus. social life, some spirituality and social life. Feels very Gemini. Okay. Let us find where it is. Okay. All right. Are we about to eat some popcorn together? Too good. All right. So we have our focus eyeball here, and I have 8 areas of life on our wheel. So let's go ahead. We have our charms. All right, we're casting charms for Gemini 2022 predictions. For Gemini 2022 predictions. All right, so we have sport and our fan here in the focus. Sport, I associate that with socialization, sporting events. It could also be talking about physical activity, but making moves, moving things around, getting things, changing things up, shaking things up when it comes to physical activity, when it comes to like sporting events or like social events with others. Of course, we did say social life is going to be a primary energy in 2022 for you. We have another windmill. So this idea of moving things around, which I feel like we talked about in your cards already, this idea of things moving, of things shaking up, changing up, the winds of change, just feels like there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of air. We're stoking fires, we're moving debris out the way. It just feels like a lot of movement in general. Victories there in your collaborations, maybe hoarding some partnerships or some partnerships that will be very fruitful for you. We have our dragon there, and our dragon, I associate our dragon with hoarding treasures. But I feel like in the position of partnerships, this could be talking about like a partnership that allows you to hoard or make or keep a lot of money, gold, resources, valuables. When it comes to self-care, you're getting a new perspective there. You're being encouraged to seek a new point of view or a new perspective on self-care, which I feel like, again, was a very primary energy for 2022 for you in the cards that we got for you, especially when it comes to how you approach spirituality and your health and well-being is highlighted here. We have some luck happening in your spiritual spaces. We got the Fool and social currency. We already said that your social life was going to be a primary focus. So to have the Joker there or the Fool in that position in social currency, to me, says that your social currency will grow. What is social currency? Social currency is, we think of money, right? Money is a type of currency, and what do you do with it? You buy stuff that you need. So it's valuable in that you can trade it for something else. Well, social currency is the same way. It's basically making trades, having your relationships with other people being a resource for you. And that currency, that social currency, your relationships grow when you're in that space of the Fool, when you're open and sociable, and you kind of have this very youthful type of approach to situations. There's a happiness there because the Fool is just starting out on its journey, hasn't run into any issues, hasn't gotten, beat down and tore up yet. So our Fool is very optimistic, outgoing, sociable, and this energy is magnetic, and people love this energy. This feels very Gemini energy naturally anyway, but I feel like there's a message to kind of, especially if you're a Gemini that's like been through it, to like reconnect with that youthful sort of energy that's very natural to Gemini. Carefree and youthful and sociable. We have the hatchet in our finances and social currency spaces. So I'm feeling like I just feel like you're going to be making connections, and I feel like the social currency is going to be very, very valuable when it comes to your finances and your wealth. A hatchet is used for chopping things, so I feel like there's also a message around being mindful of your social currency, your social life, and that social aspect of life, and the fact that it can be an asset and it can also hack away at your finances and wealth. So that could be talking about, I don't know, some sort of friendship gone sour, somehow also connecting to your finances. It could be like work relationships or something like that. So just be mindful of that connection, and that you're not chopping off or chopping out anything that's gonna affect your wealth or your finances. Or maybe you need to do some chopping, like if there's some rotten wood or rotten bark or a rotten branch on your tree, you might need a hatchet to like chop it off. And this is obviously talking from more of a social standpoint. It might be time to venture out, and it might be time to distance yourself from others or remove them from your life completely, depending if there is toxicity there. You're making your finances here, so it feels like a lot of work in 2022 will be focused on or going into making your finances, making wealth. We have the Five of Cups here, straddling finances and the career business space. And I already mentioned this in the spread, that you might be moving on from a job or something of that nature. It might be like a bittersweet thing. It might be something that you're kind of sad or disappointed about. But walking away from that, even if it appears to be quote unquote a good option, for example, like, oh, you have a good job, you have good benefits, blah, 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 but it's like not fulfilling you. It's not, it doesn't fill a void. It just creates a paycheck and, that sort of thing. So I feel like there might be some emotional duress or distress, or maybe just sadness about moving on from some job, or maybe even a whole career track that you've been on, that it might, hurt the finances a little bit, but connecting with something that you're truly passionate about, which is what we talked about in your cards, is actually going to create more wealth and stability and resources and all of that stuff later on down the line. Now, this is not to say you're just cold turkey quitting a job without having another opportunity lined up. We don't do that, okay? We're smart. And so it's about, if you're connecting with the idea that this current opportunity is not vibing, like I'm not vibing with, it's not fulfilling me, then it's time to start looking for something else. You're not just going to cold turkey quit and, start making, finger puppets or something, which is your dire passion. You can make finger puppets on the side, but you need to find another stable opportunity before you move away from this other one, okay? So we're not doing anything senseless and all of that. But for an example, if you've been working on your finger puppet endeavor and it's actually bringing in some money, maybe we're just getting something small, something part-time, so we can get rid of the toxic job, so that we can spend more time with making this hobby actually into something that's going to fruit for us in a way that can be sustainable. So there are many different ways to go about it, but I guess the whole point is that you're not just cold turkey quitting and putting yourself into an awkward financial position, okay? Victories and successes in your collaborations. I already talked about this stuff. Okay, I think I touched on all of the charms. No, I didn't. I missed our Rose here and our King of Swords. Okay. So in our compensation sector, very, very, very concentrated in our finances. Okay, so it could be saying that there is a King of Swords individual. So a Aquarius specifically, maybe just any air sign in general, Gemini, Libra. And it could actually be talking about you, Gemini, invoking the energy of this King of Swords in order to get fair compensation, etc., right? Because our King of Swords is about fairness and justice. He's balanced in the fact that he understands truth and reason, and but isn't a complete stranger to, you know, emotional intelligence and things like that either. So we're following our, you know, our discernment. We're using our mind and our heart to work together to make the decisions and to negotiate or to create fruitful and beautiful and blooming opportunities for ourselves. So using that very strict mind, it could also be saying this level of maturity, right? So I think it's really interesting that we have our Fool as well as our King here. So I feel like it's a combination of these energies. That Fool, that youthful, outwardly, you know, just outgoing kind of energy, blended with the mental maturity and kind of just scrutinizing energy of this King of Swords. Our King of Swords, you know, is also quick in the mind. You know, he can be humorous, use humor and all that other sorts of things. So he's not a stick in the mud. He's very mentally agile and can navigate through these social situations as well in a very gracious but stoic kind of way. So we're in these negotiations and we're, you know, networking and socializing. We're invoking his energy. And I feel like that is going to bring a higher level of compensation, and of course wealth and all of those sorts of things. So, you know, being mindful of that too when you get into those negotiations, that you're being that King of Swords, you're looking for the fairness, you're looking over those different opportunities, you're coming in with what you want to get out of it, what you desire, some areas where you're willing to kind of negotiate a bit, but going in there with that King of Swords mindset, that mature, mentally strong mindset is actually going to prove to be very positive for you and to get a very blessed outcome there in that compensation space. All right, now I think I blabbled on about all of the charms. Okay, so Gemini, to summarize a little bit, again, I feel like your 2022 is going to be really, really focused on your inner space, or at least that's how it is meant to start. That you are working on this self-discipline, you're working on strengthening your understanding and your faith in your own inner space, and you're balancing out that mind and that heart space and using those two energies to develop a strong sense of discernment for yourself and decision making. The world is at your fingertips in 2022. Once you set your course in the beginning, you're grounded and you're in line with your path and purpose, then these different opportunities connected to your passions, you know, progressing and moving forward in love, whether that be just love for you and yourself and the things that you're passionate about. You're working through any hardship, any things that you've suppressed in your past, you're pulling those up so that you can work through them, so they don't stand in the way of your bounty and your blessings. So 2022 looks like a very bold, intense, and a year that's really setting you up to be abundant and prosperous in your life in various different areas of your life. But again, it's going to start with that self-work first, getting in alignment with your path and purpose, balancing out your own energies, trusting that intuition, that inner space, as well as the mind space, invoking happiness and peace and joy in your life as well. All right, my beautiful soul, these are the messages that I have channeled for you today. I hope this was helpful. If something resonated, do drop a comment down below. Click like, subscribe, and I will see you in an upcoming message. Bye.